What a super year it promises to be, and you can watch it all live and in high definition here on Sky Sports. Channel 408 for that, and of course on Sky Sports 1. This, the first night of 2010, the Crusaders, who finished bottom last year, tackled the team that won the title for a third year in a row, the Leeds Rhinos. It's a mighty test. This is the way the two sides will line up. The Crusaders have got Youngquest at fullback, then it's Dyer, Trimachi, Mellors and Rayner. Michael Witt, the new boy from Australia, and Lincoln Withers. It's an experimental half-back partnership, that. Up front, it's O'Hara, the new skipper, Thomas Lee, who has been signed from Hull and trying to rekindle his career, Bryant, Peake, Chan and Winterstein. And on the bench, Thackeray, James, the Welsh skipper in the European Championships last year, Lloyd White and Peter Lupton. The coach, it's Brian Noble. For the Rhinos, Callum Watkins takes the place of the injured Brent Webb at fullback. Then it's Donald Delaney, the new boy for them from Australia, senior, who makes his 350th weekly round appearance in the Super League, and last year's top try scorer Ryan Hall. Maguire and Burrow at halfback. Forwards, Luluai, Badiris and Bailey. There's no Jamie Peacock, the England captain, rested. And then it's Jamie Jones-Buchanan, Carl Ablett and Kevin Sinfield, the loose forward and skipper. And on the bench, Lauatiti, Diskin, Greg Eastwood, the New Zealand international who's waited over 12 months for this night. Ian Kirk and Brian McLennan is the coach. So the Leeds Rhinos, they enter the new season without having lost since July the 24th, 28 points to 10 at Wigan. Brian Noble is the last coach to sample victory then against Leeds. The Crusaders, they began life in Super League 12 months ago against Leeds at Headingley. They lost that night 28-6, but they gave a very good account of themselves. And there is a brand new audience here tonight hoping that the Crusaders can achieve mission impossible. We have Super League in Wrexham for the first time. The Celtic prefix is dropped. They arrive on a wing and a prayer, but they have got home advantage. Brian Noble is in charge, and they'll hope for a better performance than in any of their three previous matches against the Leeds Rhinos. Full house. The marketing people have done a magnificent job, and Ben Taylor is the big match referee. We have snow on the pitch. Is it the night for a massive upset at the start of Super League 15? We'll find out. We're underway. Michael Witt with the first kick of 2010. There's the first tackle of the new year. It was on Kylie Luluai, and a tremendous charge led there by Jason Chan.
It is to be expected, Eddie. Brian Noble teams throughout the years, they know they're very, very strong in defence. They must realise they've got to get very, very tight at the play the ball area. And of course, with these conditions, the kicking game is going to be extremely important, especially from the likes of Michael Witt, Lincoln Withers, and you'll see a lot of kicking from the hooker Tommy Lee as well.
It's Leeds who are in possession, and there's the kick from Rob Burrow right down the centre of the field. Youngquest allows it to bounce. It almost gets to his own goal line, and the Crusaders fullback runs it forward, and a tremendous chase led by Ablett and also Brett Delaney, his first involvement in the Super League here. This now Gareth Rayner, the Great Britain and England international. His Super League career began with Leeds 10 years ago.
You can see very quickly, though, this Leeds outfit, they really mean business. Only two play the balls, they're moving up very quickly. You can see they're forcing the Welsh outfit into one-out rugby league football. That is the style of their coach, Brian McLennan.
Good deep kick, but Callum Watkins at fullback, given the job when Brent Webb failed a fitness test, but Brian McLennan full of confidence. That ball has come free. It's a knock-on, a wonderful, wonderful tackle on Watkins.
Well, in the absence of Brent Webb, Brian McLennan quite happy to throw in the youngster Callum Watkins there, but it's good defence. See how they turn him around. Was that shifted with the left arm? I think it might have been. That's why he was looking at the official. Ben Thaler, but he's not going to get the nod. First opportunity.
Indeed so. Rigorous defence it was from Ricky Tremarchi. And it is now Thomas Lee at dummy half, and he gets the ball away, and they're offside, I think. Leeds caught offside at the play of the ball.
10 metres makes you all the way.
And so a real opportunity here. Jamie Jones-Buchanan was too quick out of the blocks, and they're going to go for 2 points. The Crusaders will take anything at all that's on offer, but I don't think Brian Noble is too happy with that decision from his players.
Well, that's a disadvantage, you know, of being up into the stands and not being close to the sideline. All right, we know we have telecommunications and all this rigmarole that can go on, but I'm with you, Eddie. They should have really applied the pressure. They're new to the competition. They've got to get themselves into the swing of things. They haven't had a trial game. They've only been together about 4 or 5 weeks. And what did they do? They opt for 2. I can't believe it.
Well, I prefer to see the players on the field make the decisions rather than the coach in the stand. They obviously feel at this point in time they wanted to take a lead. They're putting 2 points over, and that will give them some confidence. But you're tending to find in conditions like this that it'll be a lower scoring match than certainly when they met last August. And I don't think we'll see very many long-range tries. They've got a 2 points lead, and they've given the girls something to cheer about.
And the crowd really did cheer that ball as it went over the crossbar from the boot of Michael Witt. He was playing rugby union with Otago in 2009. This is his first game of rugby league since 2008. But the Crusaders with an unlikely lead.
And let me tell you, Eddie, Michael Witt is a very, very good goal kicker. A very accomplished kicker indeed. I'm not surprised they took the 2 points, because you want to get away to a good start. You'd want to get a lead on Leeds, whether it's 2 points or 4 points or 6, and just sort of settle the nerves a little bit. They've been very good in their opening couple of sets. They've been able to work their way down the field, get a good kick chase in, and put some pressure on the Leeds Rhinos. The 2 points, it's certainly not going to be a match-winning lead, I don't think, but it'll give them a lot of confidence.
Mark Bryant was the man who played the ball there. And Leeds are just a little bit upset by the fact that they are 2 points adrift here against the new boys, the new look Crusaders, the new named Crusaders.
Move! Hold! Hold!
They lost the last 7 of 2009. They finished bottom of the table. Those 7 defeats included a 68-0 hammering by Leeds at Newport on August the 22nd. It was their heaviest defeat of a very difficult season. That's a good kick downfield. That's a tremendous kick. Great stuff from Witt.
He's a talent, no doubt about it. Brian Noble was very pleased indeed when he decided to come back into the fold of rugby league, and with kicking like that, he's destined to be a real star player for this outfit. Well, it's a wonderful start. Okay, it's only 2 points in front, but
he knew, Brian McLennan, that it is a potential banana skin, but he is hoping, of course, that Leeds will just get to the pace of things. They will no doubt have one eye on the World Club Challengers coming up in 4 weeks' time. That is a major match for Leeds this year. They lost, of course, the challenge last year to Manly, but it's Elland Road at the end of next month, and there's the information line, telephone number, and the website where you should get in touch with the Rugby Football League. It's a massive match for Leeds, and we will be there with them on Sky Sports.
What you've seen early on here, sorry, is one of the reasons why Huddersfield was so successful last year is the line speed. The defenders moving up so quickly. Look, the faces in front of Danny Maguire as he kicked the ball. Now, it's teams having the fitness and the concentration to do that for 80 minutes, which is the harder part as it goes on. But I think we'll see early on this season, people trying to take a leaf from what the Giants did last year, getting up quickly to close down your opponents.
Well, they're very quick at around the play, the ball area. That was excellent play by Jamie Jones-Buchanan, but I'm just wondering, perhaps Ben Thaler just allowing a little bit of latitude there. It appears to me that some of the first and second markers, they're not standing all that square.
Crusaders are in possession, and it's a penalty here for offside out wide against the Leeds Rhinos. It's the second penalty that they've conceded in the opening 6.5 minutes of 2010.
Well, look at that. They're moving away, and you can't afford to be able to do that, because the referee has to pick up on that. Well, it's early days, but I just get the feeling that Leeds are somewhat nervous. You mentioned, Eddie, that it's a bit of a banana skin, this one. But they look a little, well, not a little, a lot off the boil.
That was Lee. It was a good pass, and it needed a good tackle from Jamie Jones-Buchanan, and he came up with it. Here now is Adam Peake. Adam Peake trying to barge his way through the Leeds defensive line. 3 tackles gone. That's the Leeds try line that they are searching to get over. And once again, they ferry the ball wide. Witt gets it away to Youngquest. And the Leeds defence having to work overtime to bring him down on tackle number 4.
It was a good utilisation of the dummy runner as well. Youngquest came at the second phase. Oh, they're into the corner, surely.
I think they are over there, are they? No, just short. Just held up short of the line. Brian Noble knows his men were very, very close then. It was a great drive, I think, by Winterstein it was, the number 16.
And not a bad option to take. Remember, they took the 2 points and offer when they got the penalty, but they were quite happy to take the power play, run it out, because they know that they've got the Rhinos deep in their own quarter.
It's a tremendous start, but the question is, Phil, can they keep this up?
Well, at the moment, they're doing the right things, aren't they? They're going to play against a very talented side here, though. I think that there'll be no way that Leeds have underestimated their opponents. It's expected, though, that the guys in red who played last year in front of pretty empty crowds have turned out here today, and at the start of this match must have been lifted by the atmosphere that the home supporters created for them. I suspect they'll keep this going for quite a while, but they'll have to be good to beat the Rhinos tonight.
Deep kick from Rob Burrow, down to Bill on the side.
Eddie, Leeds have obviously got the message early on about the threat Michael Witt poses, because he was taken out off the ball just a moment ago, and there was concern on the sidelines from the Crusaders camp as he lay on the deck. It's his left shoulder that he seemed to have a problem with, but he was quickly back on his feet, just flexing it, waved away the physio. He's all right to continue.
Well, the possession very much with the Crusaders at the moment after 8 3/4 minutes of the brand new Super League season here. Leeds have not lost their opening Super League fixture for 10 years, by the way. In the year 2000, they were beaten 18-22 at Headingley by Wakefield. The only other first-up defeat, the inaugural year, when Warrington beat them. A long way to go yet, though, for this Crusaders side.
Again, good defence by Leeds. It had to be as well, because
Lee, it's hanging. Watkins gets underneath it. Good chase, though. Good chase that was led there by Thomas Lee. Well, they're working hard, the Crusaders. Revamped, renamed, new chairman, changed name, changed venue, changed business plan, new staff. First time they've played together. They probably think they're about 4 to 6 weeks behind schedule, but the opening 10 minutes of this 2010 season has been encouraging for them so far.
Interesting to see which kick. Will they go high? Yes, they will. Sinfield, though it's a bit long.
Almost over the head of Youngquest, but he did well to take that. Nick Youngquest, he played the second half of last year in the Championship with Gateshead. And mentioning Gateshead, and Phil did in the build-up to this, we have the coach, of course, the former coach of Gateshead from 1999, Sean McRae, whose men finished, you finished 6th in the table that year, didn't you?
We did, Eddie. We missed the playoffs by 2 points. It was a wonderful year. It's an awful long time ago, though. But it does remind me a lot of what the Crusaders are trying to do now, and Phil commented on that at the start of the show. I've been very impressed with their start. You know, they haven't had to bring the ball off their line. That gives you a lot of energy. Leeds have had to do a lot of defence. They've had a couple of penalties against them. That also gives the Crusaders a lot of energy. And they're the side at the moment. They've certainly won the first 10 minutes of this game.
Good crossfield kick, that from Michael Witt. It bounces awkwardly in front of Scott Donald, who had his back to the challengers. And up they come with Vince Mellors.
It's a good chase as well. The one thing that would have pleased Brian Noble, the new coach, is the fact that when that kick came from Leeds, the Crusaders got over the halfway line. Now, normally, this Rhinos outfit, they usually close them down. That is one of their great assets, is the fact that their defence is that solid.
The question that a lot of Super League fans who are watching tonight, this opening match of the brand new campaign, will be wondering here as we approach the 12th minute, just when will the Crusaders bubble burst? Burrow, not the best kick.
It very rarely bursts inside the first month, Eddie. I think the bigger test for
No,
the
I mean
Crusaders...
in this match, Phil, not,
Yeah,
not in the month.
I think that the emotion and the adrenaline tonight will take the Crusaders on. It's a perfect preparation for Leeds, as you say, they look for 4 rounds before they take on the Melbourne Storm.
Well, they're not trying to do too much. That's a main sort of plan that I'm sure Brian Noble would have put into their heads, is the fact that they've only had a few weeks together. No point in trying anything fancy, and that's what they're doing, just good running, basic, take it up, get over the advantage line, and as we mentioned already, Michael Witt, he's got a good kicking game.
Last tackle for the Crusaders. Lee is the dummy half. He finds Lincoln Withers. He finds Witt, and he will put it into the air. And there are red shirts underneath this.
That'll be a knock-on.
It was a knock-on. Yes, it was a knock-on by the Crusaders player in the first instance. It came off a Leeds head then.
Cal, back there, mate. Where Robert is?
I think it was Winterstein, wasn't it? Yes, it was. It
Yeah.
came off his fingertips.
Jerry, take it back the yard.
But a change of tactics yet again. So they are thinking on their feet. That was a pretty good kick as well, but first opportunity that Leeds have got the ball out wide. Interesting. Man that's just playing the ball, of course. Controversy this week. Said that this Crusaders side shouldn't be in the Super League.
Yeah, Keith Senior. Penalty here for feet in at the ruck, I think, by the Crusaders in the shape of Michael Witt. Keith Senior, 350th weekly round match today, as Jamie Jones-Buchanan is given the penalty by Ben Thaler. And I don't know why Keith Senior said something like that, really. He said he feels sorry for Widnes, and I suppose a lot of people do feel sorry for Widnes, but there are a lot of other clubs outside the Super League who would like a place in the top flight. It was probably a response to a question.
Well, it always is, but as far as I'm concerned, get on with the job that you paid for, and that is to play rugby league football. That's a knock-on, so that'll be no advantage to the home side, the Crusaders. They won't be rushing about this. They'll pack it down nice and steady and just feed it.
Might have been a hand in there, but it was a bit of a loose carry by Kylie Lulawai. His 4th season here at Leeds. He's won the grand final in all the previous 3. What a bad record.
I think they're a little bit stunned by the fact that how solid the Crusaders' defence, especially in and around that play-the-ball area. Normally, you get the likes of Lulawai, they get over the advantage line, but they're finding it quite difficult.
Brian McLennan knew that any Brian Noble coached side would come at the Leeds Rhinos.
Well, do you know what? It raises a really interesting question tonight about whether teams need to play with one another before end of the day. Do you really need to know about the strengths of your teammates, and do you need to gel? This almost disproves that myth, doesn't it, that exists for some A sides in sport. When you think 12 months ago they played against Leeds and they lost by, what, 20 points or slightly more. But again, we're very competitive and had literally come together that week of the match.
Yes, they had. There were players who only arrived on the Monday of that game.
Well, to be fair, Phil, I can't agree with that. I mean, when you look at the fact that Leeds, they're so understanding and they know each other.
Witt, he finds Youngquest, and they're playing the ball wide once again. Here are the Crusaders keeping it alive brilliantly, and they have a man on the overlap wide. Gareth Rayner was calling for it, but the ball put to ground by Jason Chan. But it draws applause from this packed house at the racecourse.
Great opportunity, just shows you the quality of this fella, Michael Witt. It was a good step off the right boot, not so sure that that was backwards. It didn't matter. The thing is that Youngquest, he came up in support, so the combination is definitely there. Getting back to that point, Phil, I can't believe it because of the fact that such the understanding that Leeds have had. That's the major reason, in my opinion, that they've won 3 on the trot.
Well, I think they've just got better players, but there is obviously something. But what's interesting is whether you do need to play together. The Crusaders seem in the opening 15 minutes to be doing a pretty good job of it.
Oh, you haven't hexed them, Phil, because here comes Danny Maguire. He's lost it. The pass from Lulawai was up round his neck, to be fair to Maguire.
Should have got it. It was neat work there by the prop forward. Lulawai bursting through, first opportunity. Adam Peake got to him in the end.
It wasn't up round his neck, my apologies.
No, he should have taken
decent
it.
Pass.
Just maybe had a little squint at the fullback coming towards him. But the first real opportunity that we've seen from the Rhinos.
And Danny Maguire, just 13 tries last year. That was his lowest return since he got into the side in 2003. Crusaders scrum. Leeds will hunt the mistake here. The champions for the past 3 seasons.
And it's a responsibility that they've got to take through. They've done it over the past 2 seasons and come up trumps. But they know that, and we mentioned before the game, Eddie, you know, the likes of Warrington, Hull and Bradford, they've really scouted well, haven't they? They'll be a lot stronger, and they know it's not going to be easy. This Rhinos outfit know they've got to get up to a good start, and they really can't have a slump like they did early in the season last year.
That's good work, though, from the markers by Leeds Rhinos. But the Crusaders taking the challenge to them, but that's the last tackle. They're still inside their own half. And there's another kick into the corner. Tremendous kick once again. Lincoln Withers this time. Well, Lincoln Withers, 6 tries last year, joint top scorer with Luke Dyer. And therein lies the problem for the Crusaders. They've got to find someone who can get over the whitewash at their opponent's end.
Well, they've certainly got it in their winger, haven't they, Gareth Rayner? But it's a combination of getting the ball out wide. We've only seen one opportunity in the first 18 minutes. And that was on that far side on Luke Dyer's wing. But it's important. Brian Noble realises that if he can keep this strong defence throughout all his career, he realises that, OK, you've got to have the quality of players and skill factor, but you've got to make sure that defence is solid. And up to now, he should be happy. Crusaders are playing well.
They are highly enthusiastic, as you can see. Bill?
And nobody more enthusiastic, I'm sure, than Jamie Thackeray out there now, wearing 18, just involved in the tackle there on Kylie Luluai. Former Leeds man, a bit of a nomad in recent years, hasn't really settled. Career seemingly going off the rails. He's got another chance here at the Crusaders, given by Brian Noble, and he's really aiming to make his mark this season.
Indeed so. Brian Noble, the man, of course, who gave Jamie Thackeray his 3 Great Britain caps in 2003. Oh, through the legs of Youngquest! Try for Donald!
No doubt about it, he got it down. And no doubt in the mind of the official, Ben Taylor. Well,
it took a mistake, didn't it?
It was a shocker, wasn't it? It was always going to be on the cards, though. Slippy conditions. He knows that he's come up with a real big error.
Well, he's 26 years of age, came from the championship with Gateshead. 15 tries in 13 games for them, formerly with the NRL and 4 different clubs. He can be a fullback or a winger as well, Nick Youngquest. But Scott Donald with the opening try.
Good opportunity, they worked it on that blind side. Maguire has been operating on that right-hand side, and there, it's just a simple error. Full credit though, Scott Donald. When you get the opportunity, that's the reason why they're so good, this Leeds outfit. He won't want to see that often, Nick Youngquest. But Donald, he opens up the scoring.
A wonderful
in regards
kick
to
as well.
tries. Oh, it's a great work on that
Delaney.
And what was interesting about that set was it was the first time that Leeds has started to get some quicker play of the balls. You know, 18 minutes in, perhaps 1 or 2 of the Crusaders players not as strong in the tackle. 1 or 2 quicker play of the balls, and they finished it with a try, admittedly with some fortune. Kevin
Sinfield, man of the match in last year's grand final. And it looks like the kicking boots are with him at the start of the season. Sinfield, the first man to top the weekly round goal kicking charts for the 3rd year in a row in 2009. And Scott Donald's try improved by the skipper, and the champions leading here now by 6 points to 2. But it came as a result, Sean, of an awful mistake.
Yes, it did. It was something that you'd expect a player to clean up very, very easy. You know, it's just a bread and butter play, the little short side kick. Nick Youngquest, I understand, is a fairly safe sort of player. I understand very enterprising as well. Very, very quick, very pacey player. But he's just had a little look up, and unfortunately, you get embarrassed sometimes in this game with errors. But, you know, plenty of time to make up for that, and I hope he hasn't lost the confidence, because the way the Crusaders have started, they've certainly shown a lot of confidence in their ability to handle this big Leeds forward pack, and Leeds really are just chipping away there, and they've shown a lot of patience, and they seem to want to expose this left side of the Crusaders' defence. They might have a spot player there or a target, so we'll have to keep an eye on that.
Here's Rob Burrow, who has had a wonderful off-season. He was overlooked, of course, by England coach Tony Smith for the Four Nations. He was away on holiday when England were playing in that tournament, and he's had a great preparation for 2010. The kick, though, from Badiris skips dead.
I expect a big season as well by Rob Burrows. He's made it quite clear to everybody that his international career is certainly not over. Okay, it was great to see the youngsters come through, wasn't it, in the England jersey last year, but do not write off at your peril Rob Burrow.
And we are still awaiting, of course, the news of the New England coach. Tony Smith vacated the position after the Four Nations final defeat to concentrate on his Warrington job, and we await the news of the new man. That's a poor kick out on the full. First mistake of the night from the boot of Michael Witt.
Just trying to mix it up a little bit. You could see they had the backspin on the football, but just a touch too long. He's a talent.
You mentioned before, Eddie, about bubbles bursting in games, and I'm not sure it has for the Crusaders, but just little things like where Leeds started their last couple of sets, the Nick Youngquest error down there, Michael Witt kicking out on the full. It just gives Leeds an opportunity to get back into playing the way they want to play. And for the first 15 minutes of this game, they weren't able to do that. The Crusaders were totally dominant, playing with a lot of confidence, but all of a sudden you just get this feeling now that Leeds are starting to get a little dominance back, and they're looking a little bit fresher and a little bit, you know, just getting half through a hole, offloads like that from Jamie Jones-Buchanan, little ability to shift the ball around, and they're dangerous signs for the Crusaders' defence.
It's Senior who has the ball. He plays it to Badiris, goes down the short side. That's Jamie Jones-Buchanan, dabs it to the in-goal area, and more danger. Ryan Hall, last year's top try scorer, was chasing that forward, and Youngquest tidies up the danger. But something's happened in back play here. There's a bit of a schmozzle going on. And the referee, Ben Thaler, moving quickly to try and sort it out. It looks like Thomas Lee has been involved. Bit of finger pointing and finger wagging from referee Ben Thaler. It's a goal line dropout as a result of all of that anyway.
I don't think there's much in it, just a few verbals after.
You know what we sometimes overlook with Leeds is the skill that the side have to kick the ball down the short side, as you see the pushing and shoving here. But this is a brilliant kick here now by Jamie Jones-Buchanan, that it results in trapping their opponents in goal and gaining possession again. A very difficult play, and one he made look rather easy.
And here comes the substitute Ian Kirk.
You get the feeling now that Leeds, they are getting over the advantage line. The distribution by the hooker Danny Badiris is coming into play more and more.
Greg Eastwood there with hands on the ball in a Leeds jersey. Should have been here 12 months ago, but visa problems prevented him. And here is Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Great ball out the back, but it has come up, I think, for Crusaders. It's a penalty, is it? It's a penalty here to Leeds.
I think someone was taken out off the ball. Beautiful work though, wasn't it, by Jamie Jones-Buchanan, and he's deemed that, I think it was Burrow that was taken out before he could have any chance of receiving that. They'll take the tap. They'll take the tap.
Harsh on the second look, that, but anyway, Leeds won't be complaining.
Yeah, it was a 50-50 call, but he was pretty confident. Ben Thaler, the man with the whistle.
Badiris to Maguire. Maguire trying to tiptoe his way through the snow, and the Crusaders' defence plays the ball to Badiris. He flings it back to Sinfield. Sinfield attacking the line. Short ball then, and Jamie Jones-Buchanan wrestled to the ground by Michael Witt. Chances here for Leeds once again. Maguire on the angled run.
Pretty good defence, you know, by the Crusaders. They weren't sucked in. You could see when Sinfield was running across to the left, they kept a solid line.
Here's Sinfield again. Tries to stab the ball. It comes off an ankle or a thigh, and the Crusaders get it back. Tremendous work on the ground by Adam Peake.
Well, he shows you the respect that this Leeds outfit are giving to him, because they tried everything. As we mentioned, Sinfield trying to go out wide, trying to suck the defenders away from that one line. Wasn't successful, and then they had to opt for the kick.
This is now Rocky Trimarchi, formerly with the West Tigers. Young man of Italian descent. And he's, I think the penalty has been given against Ali Laatiti.
Well, he's been claimed that he took the ball away from Trimarchi.
Stay behind, guys.
And yeah, I think you might find there was a left arm in there. There's the culprit. Well, to be fair, Eddie, 26 minutes into this game, and you say to yourself, only 4-point lead by the champions. You'd have to say that this home crowd will be very pleased with what they've seen so far.
Wait, go.
Well, a new team always have some buzz about them. I remember when we went to watch Catalan play Wigan in their opening game, and they came up with the upset that night, defeating the Wigan Warriors. The Crusaders be fancying that again here. Chan can get his arms free.
Celebrated his 26th birthday on Tuesday of this week, did Jason Chan, as he plays the ball there. Nearly went without it. Michael Witt. He has stamped a bit of authority on this Crusaders side, hasn't he, in the opening 26.5 minutes of the new season.
And I've been impressed at the way that not only with Witt controlling things out there, but the Crusaders are utilising the dummy runner.
Well, they're about 12 metres away from the line here as Youngquest played that ball. Kick high, looking for Millers, and Millers has claimed it, and he gives it to Rayner, who will score! Everybody in this crowd on the feet. And Gareth Rayner, the man whose Super League career began with Leeds 10 years ago. He was released by Hull on the eve of the brand new season. And the Great Britain and England international Gareth Rayner has produced the biggest cheer of the night here in Wrexham so far. The scores are level with this kick to come from Michael Witt.
Apply the pressure, get yourself into a good position, and Witt's kick is superbly taken by Vince Mellors. It wasn't the best there by Leeds. There was only one man going for it. That was Ryan Hall. Really should have had more to it. Mellors did ever so well, and that's what he gets paid for, this fella, Gareth Rayner. That will do a huge lift for his confidence, this fella, Gareth Rayner. Super stuff. And boy, we've got a new kid on the block in Super League. You can call him. It's Michael Witt. He's been everywhere.
There might be some newcomers to the game, but they're here to celebrate everything that Brian Noble's men will do tonight. Now then, can Michael Witt give the Crusaders the edge with a very difficult kick? Bad conditions for goal kickers. He's got a very strange approach, but he's missed it. Interesting style, but 6 apiece.
Yeah, it's, I see it quite often down at Buckingham Palace. Lifting the leg and changing the guard, but it certainly didn't help him.
Well, Michael Witt, he played for New Zealand Warriors against Manly in the grand final qualifier. There it is, hop, skip and a jump, and, well, not quite on target this time. Oh, that's a great kick from Sinfield. That's a tremendous kick-off.
Lack of understanding. It appears to me that no one was really calling for that.
I think Sinfield spotted the big gap, look.
Should have been a man there.
Nobody wanted it.
And they realised that. Now we'll see whether he can get plenty of length on this one.
One of the toughest skills in the game is the kickoff. We just take it for granted that the ball's going to hang in the air, and you know, some guys like Kevin Sinfield, Lee Breer's another one that comes to mind. Guys, Paul Sykes, I think, at Bradford, they seem to be able to put so much work on the ball, they seem to be able to make it very, very difficult for the receivers. And it's a wonderful skill, a wonderful gift to have, because as you've seen now, Leeds have been able to get possession back straight away and put some pressure on the Crusaders' defence.
I think it was Jordan James, the captain of the Welsh side that won that European Championship last year, only just on the field, and maybe just wasn't quite ready for what came at him then. And maybe we should credit, actually, Kevin Sinfield for spotting the fact that Jordan James was just off the bench.
Well, it's a shot, isn't it? They're almost shooting the ball and trying to get it bounced before the dead ball line. The shot's paid off.
Jamie Jones Buchanan again.
Haven't seen a run from Badeiras as yet. He's been quite happy just to feed it out. Oh, it's a good run, good tackle as well.
Well, he's everywhere, isn't he, Michael
Yeah.
Witt? Last tackle here for the champions. And Maguire dabs it to the in-goal area.
Too long.
Just slightly too long. A great chase, though, being led by Greg Eastwood. Only 22 years of age, this fellow. 12 times a New Zealand international. Super League debut. A year and more after agreeing the move from Brisbane, but held up by visa problems in 2009.
And you probably would have noticed as well, the in-goal area here at this ground is very, very narrow indeed. Whether that has been something that Brian Noble has had something to do with, I'm not right sure, but he's fully aware of what the quality of the kicking game is from this Leeds outfit, especially from the likes of Maguire and Burrow.
Well, it's been an excellent half hour for Crusaders.
Certainly has, and they've really got themselves involved, but it's been in the kicking department and the defence, which is good. That's a touch too long.
Yeah, that wasn't the best from Tommy Lee.
But quite a lot of the clubs,
20-metre mark.
quite a lot of the clubs that are quite happy to just kick it, getting goals, so they can get themselves lined up on that 25-metre line. But as you mentioned, after only 10 minutes into this game, you pose the question, how long can this Crusaders outfit last at this pace? Can they get through the full 80? We'll have to wait and see, but up to now, they're doing exceptionally well.
They're tackling like demons, aren't they? They're not giving Leeds an inch if they can possibly help it. Diskin's on the field. This is Burrow. And now it's with Watkins. Here goes Senior again. He tried to offload that. The ball went backwards, and Crusaders have it back. And it's in the shape of Rocky Trimarchi. Bit of holding down going on in the tackle. And he definitely tried to get rid of that.
Yeah, certainly did. Far too much traffic. That's good running. That is good power play.
It's Lincoln with us. And that was a neat step through the would-be tackle of Maguire. Delaney to the rescue.
It's obviously Brian Noble coming down on this is a left-hand side. Maguire, of course, always puts himself in a defensive position out on their right-hand side.
Michael Witt again. Up it goes high into the night air. And, well, he just wagged a foot at that, really, when it bounced.
I'm not so sure that that was a good option. He got plenty of height on it, but it was a poor attempt after that. Now then, can the Rhinos... Oh, they've given away a penalty.
Hands in. Can't do that. Jordan James.
Yeah, second attempt. It's always frustrating for the coach. Brian Noble would be furious. After a good kick and chase, made the point. Can we keep... Which they've done on quite a few occasions. Leeds have struggled to get over that halfway line on about 4 to 5 occasions.
Here's Lauatiti. Now it's Maguire. And it's Kirk again.
This is where the likes of Kevin Sinfield will start taking control.
Diskin attacking the line. Sinfield was waiting for the pass that didn't come.
Knock on.
A knock on by Matt Diskin.
And that's a massive relief for the Crusaders, because I think there was fatigue setting in. It'll be helped here now because they'll get possession back. There's a hand maybe on the ball from Jordan James.
Yes.
But a lot of the players are gasping for air at the moment in the red jerseys. They weren't coming forward quickly off the line. And they need the ball if they want to hang on to preventing Leeds from going in at half-time with some lead.
Let's hear from Bill again.
Eddie, the Leeds fans around me just getting a little bit restless now. I'm sure they anticipated their side would have a healthy lead by now, but in actual fact it's proven to be a big struggle, conceding the penalty there. One supporter bellowing just behind my ear, come on Leeds, gee it up. And of course the guy who probably go out there and gee it up for them, Jamie Peacock, is sitting at home with his feet up, sitting this game out. Understandably, though, to be fair to Jamie Peacock and to Brian McLennan, because
I don't think I've ever seen a rugby league player look more shattered physically or mentally at the end of that Four Nations tournament last year. And Jamie Peacock knew apparently before Christmas that he wasn't going to be playing here tonight, so he's having the best possible recuperation after the trials and tribulations of leading England.
Well, Matt Diskin very fortunate indeed not to be penalised on that. Really did go very high. Thaler, the official, said play on.
Here's Gareth Rayner, whose try has set this night alight at Wrexham. 6 apiece, 5 minutes to go before half-time. Senior penalised because he just went over the top of the man trying to get to his feet.
Well, it's a simple rule. Once you've done the tackle, you've got to go away, not over the top. He could have got him for a grapple tackle as well.
Amazing record, this fellow. He's missed just 25 games in 14 years so far.
Resilient, tough. And I think he had one of his best seasons in 2009. A lot of people were calling perhaps he'd be shifted from the centres into the forwards, but I thought he was outstanding last year.
Lee is the dummy half for Crusaders.
Now this is where they have to utilise. They'll use Witt out wide, maybe on the second after the first pass. Here he comes.
And it's the number 12, Jason Chan. He goes down in the tackle. That's tackle number 3. That's another penalty, really. There's not much difference between that and what Senior did.
4. Move quicker, Ian.
Winterstein will play the ball here. Lee once again. Withers and Witt gets the ball away to Youngquest. Youngquest over the top. There's a chance. Oh, he was almost in, Luke Dyer.
Well, Keith Senior built the wall, didn't he? Boy, he had to get the trowel out there. Bang, straight into the corner. He looked for all the world who was going to get it, and here comes Mr. Senior. Boom. That's the reason why he didn't squeeze in. He'll be happy.
But I don't think even he could have expected this. 6-0 as we approach half-time, and just worth saying that Luke Dyer, they're 6-all rather, as we approach half-time. It's just worth saying that Luke Dyer, this time last year, got their first ever Super League try against Leeds at Headingley.
Yeah,
good defence from the Crusaders again here. Forcing the man back who was in possession. It was Delaney. Well, if they're playing on enthusiasm, the enthusiasm lasted longer than a lot of people thought.
Well, it's amazing, isn't it? I mean, we've been trying to establish rugby league for over 100 years in Wales, and in less than 100 days, this club seems to have done it. OK, we're only getting to see on-the-field performance at the moment and the support in the crowd, but it's been a great start for them, and for all the sceptics, and I was one of them, well, I hope they continue at this rate.
that's good refereeing, you know. Ben Thaler, really, look, it's really slippy out there, and it looked a bit of a schmozzle there when Jamie Jones-Buchanan tried to get up and get the ball. That's beautiful play.
Great hands, and here is Delaney. They have problems here, the Crusaders. A kick through. Delaney was taken a bit late, I think. Youngquest to the rescue, though. But it wasn't Youngquest at all.
We've seen some nice touches, though, haven't we, from Brett Delaney. Now, the first kick came about when they had, and that's into touch. The first kick came about, they got their try from it, mainly from that mistake by Nick Youngquest. But I think he had the wrong option on that occasion when Brett Delaney made the break. But this is great defence, isn't it? Nowhere to go. And stepped over the sideline.
And that completely legal, Sean, because they've outlawed, haven't they, this year, the dragging of players over the sideline, but you can take players out in tackles like that.
Yeah, you can. You can push a player towards the sideline. You just can't attach yourself and drag a player over the line, whether it be basically anywhere in the field, Eddie. That's the new interpretation of the rule. Unless it's one-on-one. If it's a one-on-one situation, you can drag a player, but obviously that's going to be an interpretation from the referee, and players will... I don't think it'll take too long to get used to that.
Well, Leeds looking to make hay from the possession they got as a result of that. Diskin releases the pass. Oh, and Jamie Jones-Buchanan puts it down. Crusaders breathe a massive sigh of relief, and Jamie Jones just a little bit frustrated here. as are all the Leeds players. That was a great offload by Diskin, though.
Certainly was, and he should have had someone a little bit closer as well. You could see there that Jamie Jones Buchanan was expecting to play the ball. He was probably going to take the first receiver, dash in. Just lost concentration for a moment there.
Crusaders, bottom club in 2009-6, Leeds champions in 2009-6. We're in the last minute of the first half of 2010. What an effort. What an effort from the Crusaders so far.
Yeah, great respect. There's no fluke about it. And let's face it, they could be in the lead if it wasn't for that error by the full back that allowed a very soft try to Scott Donald. Take your chances, of course, but Brian Noble will be very pleased. And so will this huge crowd here. They've really warmed to them already.
They have. It's an encouraging start. And Brian Noble even with the time to sign the odd autograph. He's the perfect guy, actually, to start a new mission. John Sharp in his shadow behind him. Justin Harris carrying the messages on the field. 6-all at half-time. Who on earth would have thought that this scoreline could be possible? They led with a Michael Witt penalty goal. It looked as though Leeds were back on track when Donald's try and a great conversion from Sinfield pushed them 6-2 ahead. But then Gareth Rayner with a try, 28 minutes, locked the scores up again. It's 6 apiece at the racecourse ground and a perfect start.
Iron Brew sponsors Super League on Sky Sports. Sky Sports this February. A new season of Premier League darts. The Super League and the World Club Challenge.
That's a wonderful try.
The greatest show on earth, Super Bowl 44. The big hitters are back in Prize Fighter. There's European PGA